to my friends, my comrades, my family in the fight for liberation. We are here today because we see the warning signs. We know our history. We recognize the blueprints, and we refuse to let it happen again. The forces of fascism are on the rise again in America, backed by billionaires like Elon Musk, propped up by hate factories like the Heritage Foundation, and spearheaded by Donald Trump, who has made it his mission to erase trans people from public life. They tell us their intentions plainly. They want to strip us of our rights, our identification, our access to health care, our ability to vote, our very place in society. But this is not just an attack on trans people. It is an opening salvo in an attack on all working people. Yeah. It is an attack on democracy itself. Yeah. We have seen this before. 91 years ago, the Nazis came for queer and trans people first, raiding and ransacking the Institute for Sexual Science in Berlin, burning research on sexual orientation and gender identity, destroying lifetimes of knowledge in an attempt to erase us. Then gay and trans people were forced to wear pink triangles and were sent to the camps. And now in 2025, they come for us again, banning books about us, criminalizing our health care, erasing us from the NIH and other government websites, and attempting to drive us back underground. This war against trans people is a carefully calculated strategy. In 2015, within a year of the Obergefell decision, the Heritage Foundation, Alliance Defending Freedom, the American Principles Project, and their allies began to openly strategize ways to restrict and eliminate trans existence, manipulating public perception by conflating our identities with perversion and harm. Conservatives use these think tanks to manufacture a moral panic, to claim that trans healthcare is dangerous, despite overwhelming medical consensus affirming its necessity. They are not protecting children. They are weaponizing them.
Right.
But the statistics prove their lies. Trans people make up only a tiny fraction of the population, yet we are painted as an existential threat. Less than 0.5% of transgender minors receive puberty blockers, yet they claim it is an epidemic. The data shows that trans healthcare is life-saving, and regret rates are less than 1%. Their attempt to eliminate our access to healthcare is not about safety, it's about control. We must recognize the hypocrisy of their arguments. They claim to fight for fairness in women's sports, yet they refuse to equitably fund or promote women's and girls' athletics. They claim to protect children, yet ignore the overwhelming evidence that trans youth who receive gender-affirming care experience lower rates of depression and suicide. They weapon medical ethics while disregarding the fundamental principle of do no harm. But again, this is not just a war on trans people. This is a war against all, marginalized folks and working class people. The oligarchs use us as scapegoats to divide us, to keep us fighting each other instead of fighting them. They tell us that our wages are low because of immigrants, that our health care is expensive because of trans people, that our schools are failing because of drag queens. It is all a lie, a smokescreen, a distraction from the real war, the class war. Because while they strip away our rights, they hoard wealth. They bail out billionaires and corporations while our communities starve. They crush unions while they send their own children to private schools. They poison our water while they profit from oil. And they expect us to turn on each other instead of turning on them. We must refuse to play their game. We must stand together.
That's right.
If you are cisgender, if you are straight, if you are able-bodied, if you are white, this is your fight too. Not because of charity, not because of pity, but because your liberation is tied to mine. Because when they come for us today, they will come for you tomorrow.
Yes!
Because a government that can erase trans people from existence can erase any group that stands in its way. And because we cannot win the class war if we allow the ruling class to divide us. So we must link arms across identities, across struggles, and we must push back with everything we have. We must defend our trans siblings, not just with words, but with action. We must organize. We must strike. We must shut it all down if we have to. We must be unfucking governable in the face of fascism. They want us to be afraid. They want us to shrink. They want us to disappear. But we will not.
We will not!
We are here. We have always been here.
Yes!
And we will not be erased.
We will not be erased!
To those in power, hear this. We are done pleading for our goddamned existence.
Yes!
We are done negotiating our humanity. We are done waiting for permission to be who we are. We fight not just to survive, but to thrive, and we will win.